I don't think no one's friends. I think at the end of the day, it is a competition here. Not everybody can be number one. But at the same time, it should be friendly competition. If we all on the same track team and it's time to race and we practicing, I'm dusting you, even though you my right hand. But it's time to race.
Ladies and gentlemen, Coi Leray.
Hey.
This is our first time meeting. Well, second, because I just saw you at Summer Jam.
Mm-hmm.
And I tried to hand you a joint, and then you didn't want my joint because it was a pre-roll.
Yeah, because I don't smoke pre-rolls.
But then you was on some hood shit like, yo, you don't smoke backwoods? Where your Fanta leaves at?
I don't smoke backwards, but I asked if you smoke loose leaf or Fontos and papers. You like, nah, it take too long. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, everybody got time for that. Plus, I'm old, so it's like my lung might collapse on a Fanta or backwood. You know what I'm saying? You
It's
get
natural
old, you gotta be
leaf,
careful.
they say.
That's what they say. That's what they say. Now, I smoked blunts for years, man. I don't do that no more. I'm off that. So, Coi Leray has a new album. It just got released June 23rd. It's called Coi, which is really a birth name. So I wasn't sure, like, when I met you, is this a persona? No, this is you.
Yeah.
This is all you. When I discovered you for myself, you was already popping in your world. It was a XXL Freestyle. Now, before that, I had heard your name before. Everybody was talking about this girl coming out of Jersey, right? Blah, blah, blah. And then I saw XXL Freestyle. I didn't believe that freestyle. Like, I was like, nah, she playing around. Like, because you know how y'all are. Y'all get on the internet playing, trolling, all that. But then I went back and listened. You've been rhyming for a little bit now.
Yeah.
So walk me through the whole rap trajectory for you, because you also sing on this album. We're going to get into some of that. There's a lot of different samples on this album. You got Skilly Bang on the project. So you're very diverse in your music taste.
Yeah.
But it started with rap?
Yeah, I mean, growing up, I've always loved music. Whether if it was Lil Wayne, No Ceilings, every single one. Of course, when Drake came on, that was major. Like Drake, I feel like, him singing and rapping and all this stuff. One of my favorite rappers, when they say like, is Jada Kiss.
Pure bar.
Just pure bars. And even just Fab, French Montana. So those were like, just coming up, being from the East Coast, those are the rappers I would look up to. But I also had a voice, and I was also from, I guess, my childhood and being in a diverse world and school. And, when I would watch Twilight, I would go download the whole soundtrack as well. Like, I was really, really musically inclined. I feel like that's something in my blood for sure. And with the whole XXL Freestyle, I'm going to be honest, I'm not a freestyler.
Right.
I sit down. I started writing on pen and paper first, of course, and then elevated to my phone and then on laptop, just writing on the notes. But I never if I do freestyling, the most freestyle I'll do is melody passes, where I'm not even thinking about
That's studio talk now. Now you in studio talk.
Yeah. I do a lot of melody passes. I dropped out early. I was very smart, but I could say that my vocabulary was not the best. And, just metaphors and similes, that's why rap is like very powerful, because it is like a gifted talent. And, my process was just taking my time and actually really having to write it down, look at what I'm doing and being able to be like, all right, this don't make sense. Might have to stop and define a word, might have to look up Rhyme Zone real quick and see like, yo, learn a new word while you're doing that. So when I did XXL Freestyle, I'm like, yo, I'm gonna just fucking go out there and do whatever, because like I know these people not freestyling. Like I don't know, maybe they are, maybe they aren't. I don't know, maybe they're writing it before, but I'm like, I'm gonna just go in there and just have fun.
We got a whole album to get into, 15 records. You got Lola Brooke, and then when you get to the James Brown record, it kind of transitions into like R&B. There's a rock record in there. Tell me about all of this music and what journey you're taking us on this album.
So this journey, I feel like, even just self-titling it Coi, I want people to understand like everything that is just about me. At home, they call me Coi. Coi Leray is my brand. And but my mom, everybody, you or someone that, anybody here in the room, I would want you to call me Coi, because it's like a personal thing. And I don't know, I'm getting in depth. Like I feel like I have to tap every subject. I go through so much, I always write through experience. So whether it's about relationships, love, with Man's World, I get very vulnerable. I feel like, it's not, I wouldn't say it's a letter to my dad, but it's more like an open journal. And just, instead of social media and things like that, like I really, it's about putting it in the music. So I did that with Man's World, and even with Bitch Girl, like I'm talking my shit. You know, I'm that song right there is one of my favorites. That's like there's no subliminal or nothing. Like it's very directed to whoever feels any type of way about, throughout my whole career. Um and yeah, I'm very this is what I do want to say about the samples. Shout out David Guetta. It's a blessing, and Johnny Goldstein, to be in a studio with this guy. First of all, a lot of kids don't know that he's one of the first EDM DJs to actually bring EDM and hip hop together.
That's right.
So that's one. Number two, when we're in the studio for Make My Day, for example, because that's like the next song, and they were talking about, oh, why are you using samples and stuff? Well, we're in the studio, and David is giving me his full time. I got Johnny. They got their laptops open. We got drinks, fresh, Felly. It's like a party. Saint there. It's a whole party. David Guetta, he believes in me so much. He comes to me. He's like, yo, I got this crazy idea. He goes, I got this crazy idea. Pulls up his phone. He's like, just listen. He's like, just listen. And then it's like the girl, he's showing me, he's like, pump up the gym. What's so ironic is this same thing is trending right now on TikTok. Like the sound, for some reason, it's not even, it's the video of her actually on stage. It's crazy.
Right.
So I'm like, yo, let's kill it. Like, this is fire. Like, he's like, yo, I know you will crush this. Him putting it in a beat, they add the drums, everything is happening right on the spot. Once it's made, I go in and I just do my melody passes. And then after you hear a lot of the words and lyrics and stuff, because I do be saying some shit while I'm doing my melody passes. But yeah, and we come out and we make those songs. I feel like sampling, there's nothing wrong with sampling. For some reason, a lot of people try to use me for like the example of out of things. They try to make me an example out of things.
Wait, sampling is bad or something?
No, I don't think sampling's bad at all. I feel like I get where people might say, yo, you're doing too much with the sample. Like it was good how it was originally, right? That's what they say.
Man, come on. Where they saying this at, man?
They're saying that like all over the internet recently.
Fuck the internet, bro.
Yeah, like it was like
shit.
Yeah, but I mean, I feel
this
the same way.
This is part of the original culture. That's like the whole shit.
I think so too. I would hope so. Like I don't, but I feel like the young generation needs to be taught that. So that's why I say I don't mind being an example. I don't mind having them records and really having amazing records, tapping in with history, like even just with Busta Rhymes.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like Busta Rhymes is a legend. They don't even understand. Hip hop wouldn't even be where it is without Busta Rhymes and what he contributed to it. So me, in my generation, having this players, having Busta's support, being able to, because it's weird as hell. You'll have like 10-year-olds, 11-year-olds, 16-year-olds. It's not weird, but they're like, I don't know Busta.
Yeah, they don't.
Right? But it's fine. Because Coi
Leray. Your parents have failed you. It happens though.
It happens, but it's fine because they know Coi Leray, and guess what? Coi Leray is the type to, I don't care. I'm a teacher, and I'll push that button.
What part of Jersey you from?
I'm from Bergen County.
Bergen County? No particular town you want to shout out?
I wouldn't say, shout out Hackensack, but like shout out Passaic County, Essex County, Hudson County, everything. I feel like I was all over Jersey. I never stood still. I was out early at a young age.
You was outside.
Running the streets, yeah.
You was fake IDing it up out here?
Yeah, for sure.
But you look like, so now we got to get into your appearance too, because that's a whole conversation that people, I'm sure I've seen writings about, but I didn't even know it was a thing.
Yeah.
Until this whole little, what was it, the Lotto line, and then y'all cleaned it up and apologized. But I didn't know, because I had heard dudes bigging you up for your body.
Yeah, always.
Right? So dudes was on it. So I didn't know that was a sensitive conversation for you.
It's not a sensitive conversation. I feel like it wasn't more about the body. It was more of like mentioning my name. I feel like at the time of how everything went and just, I'm about positivity. You know what I mean?
And you weren't sure where it was coming from.
And I wasn't sure where it was coming from. And not only that, I feel like the problem with, our community today is like, we be so quick to like trying to change things, but we don't do nothing to actually change anything. You feel me? So, if we're going to say we're going to stop talking about bodies, then don't mention anything about my body. Just period. Don't compare me to nothing. Don't think about nothing. Don't, we're not smoking on anything. Like it's disrespect. And, where I come from, I just don't like that. You know what I mean? And as a human being, as a person, I have every right to say what I feel. But as I learn, not every action needs a reaction. Sometimes no reaction is a reaction.
Mm-hmm.
And I just hope my advice to the girls out there, just moving forward, find a better way to, I don't know, it's starting to get old, like the rap beefs for the guys. I don't even think they should do it. That shout out Lil Durk and J. Cole for that new song and All My Life. I think is the message behind it is amazing. The video is amazing. J. Cole went crazy on it.
It's a positive record.
It's a positive record, and those times don't get enough recognition. So if us artists, we kind of control the narrative. So if we kind of just spend more time pushing that narrative, we won't give these headlines and these blogs no reason to go ahead and push this negative narrative.
Right.
That's something we got to come together on.
I love that. I think it's a great message. I mean, look, the other side of it is, everybody ain't got to be friends, but we could all be positive.
1000%. Nobody's friends. We don't know each other in real life. You feel me? If we meet in person and we join we have a genuine relationship from there organically, then whatever. But I don't think no one's friends. I think at the end of the day, it is a competition here. Not everybody can be number one. But at the same time, it should be friendly competition. If we all on the same track team and it's time to race and we practicing, I'm dusting you, even though you my right hand. But it's time to race. We at practice. But respectfully, that's how I look at it.
So when you was outside, you said I'm outside early. What were we talking about? 15, 16?
Yeah, like 13, I was out.
And you was where? What was you doing?
So like early, when my mom and dad split, when I was like 9 years old, my mom had moved to the Hackensack and, she needed to, I would say she wasn't really fully adjusted to the lifestyle. Nobody was. It was every man for themselves at this point from where we came from. So, my mom started working late in the bar and she would do 3 to like 1 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning. My older brothers, I'm the only girl. My older brothers was out in the streets doing what they needed to do. Every man for themselves. And me, my mom trusted me so much I could do whatever. And it was at a point where my mom couldn't give me what I want. She couldn't give us none of us what we wanted financially. So I felt like she was able to give us what we want by the freedom and just trusting us and letting us kind of figure it out. So at 13, I lost my virginity very young, between 13 and 14. I started selling drugs. I dropped out of high school, 16, then I finished 9th grade. I always worked. I worked in sales and I had my own apartments. I ended up working. I'm so smart. I feel like I was born a genius. I swear. I feel like if they test my IQ, it's something high. But and I've always just been on my own. I feel like that's what made me who I am today.
Now, do you feel like, what you just shared with us, I appreciate you, first of all, for sharing that. It also sounds, too, like there's still some apprehension in that story. There's some stuff in there that you probably haven't got a chance to write and record and get out. Because I hear it on Man's World a little bit.
Yeah.
Like it's you starting to get into it, but is that, and it might be too soon, but have you figured that Coi Leray out yet? That vulnerable, transparent, yet musical, like do you feel like you found that balance?
I did. I feel like Man's World helped me find that balance for sure. Because I was always too afraid. You don't want to hurt nobody. I don't want to hurt nobody.
Mm-hmm.
That was always my main thing. I always want to say what I want to say, what I want to feel, but I don't want to hurt nobody. I don't want this to be a bad business move and let my emotions get in the way. Regardless if it was a song or not. But I'm 26 now. As I get older, and you learn to forgive, and you have a lot of great people around you. Like I'm surrounded by a lot of older people too. I've always been the youngest in my camp since a kid. So, they just guide you and teach you and they're able to give you the advice. And now I could just talk about it and tell my truth, without hurting anybody. I feel like I've mastered that. I mastered of telling my truth without hurting anybody and being able to just still be very positive while doing it. It's not easy, but first step is forgiving. And, I had to forgive my father regardless of what we've been through. I haven't told my story. A lot of people don't really know me for who I am. It's so much narratives online, what these people make out to be, though they don't know what I've been through, and I'm fine with that because they will know my story, and
You'll
luckily
share more.
I'll share more. And
Yeah.
luckily, like, I'm so grateful to even be here, like sitting next to you. You're fucking, like, come on, this is big, and
Thank you.
I wouldn't want it no other way, and it's perfect timing. That's how I look at it. Because if this probably would have happened a couple years ago, it wouldn't happen the way it is now and the way it's happening now. And I say that within myself. I've grown to a young woman. And I watched the interview of Rihanna and Oprah one day, and Rihanna just said that when she forgave her father, like, her whole life changed. Like, everything was just like everything, just the dark, just flowers just grow. So I took that advice, and also too, being on the other side, being here now in the industry, because there's still so much I don't know about, the Source magazine and that era and that time, but I do know that it is hard. It's hard to keep up. It's hard to make sure you're calling the fam and making sure everybody's good and everybody's depending on you. And, you still got to get up and you're tired and you're asleep. And you're dealing with anxiety and all kinds of different emotions, relationships. So I get it now. That's another reason why it's easy for me to be like, yo, I love you. Like, I forgive you. And hopefully he loves the song. He hasn't heard it.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's dope. I wanted to just mention something about, because I'm a dad. And I fortunate had a dad who was like as there as much as he could be there. You know what I mean?
Right.
And which wasn't actually physically present, but he was trying.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? And I think that one of the tough things and I know obviously just knowing my boys and other men who are dealing with whatever they're dealing with, for the dads, it's always easy to show up when things are good, right? When you got the bills paid and you got gifts to give and fun times to bring, it's always easy to walk into the house, right? And most dudes, we come from places where, like, that's what the man is supposed to be doing. You're supposed to be bringing it home. And, there's not a lot of emphasis placed on presence and the words that a man could, or the energy that a man could bring into a home. So when a lot of dudes, where they fuck up, is they get embarrassed for what they don't have, and then they stop showing up.
Right.
And they don't have, and the world doesn't really teach men that, like, you don't have nothing to be ashamed of. Like, there's good times, there's bad times. Your family's gonna love you regardless.
And to touch on that, like, yeah, I agree 100%. And not just with fathers as well, happy Father's Day to all the fathers coming up. Well, happy Father's Day just passed. But no, I feel like even just the world in general, I feel like the older generation has to learn how to let go and let God. For real. That be the only thing that disconnects us between the new generation and the ones that, like, for example, my father. I feel like my father, I love him. He's a hustler. He's a go-getter, right? Always smelled good, cleanest guy in the world, sharpest, flyest, something I took from him 1000%, always a hustler. But, I don't know a lot about the Source. I was so young when it was gone. I was 9 when they separated and it was gone. But I do know, like, now, how I just wish that my father would understand that he did something great and just leave it there.
Right.
I don't think I don't think he owes anybody anything. I don't think nobody owes him anything. I just think that what he done is something that is great. And the ones that appreciate that, and the ones that, it's like, if you know, you know. You feel me? If you are a hip hop and and you were there, then
Source magazine meant something.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. So, I remember seeing, like, a gold mic and a silver mic. Like, that's all I know. And then, like, probably one clip with, like, Snoop Dogg on stage, I think, resurfaced one time. When I got older, I seen. But I don't know nothing about that magazine. Nothing about those times. Nobody me and my daddy had that relationship. He was always so busy and on the road. He ain't never sat down and told me, like, how, you know what I mean, things were, or whatever, what he was going through, how he was feeling. I had no clue. He was just Mr. Cut you off real quick, break it. Yeah, I don't even know how it was gone.
But I think you did a great job on this album.
Thank you.
You and Lola Brooke, No Angels.
I love that song.
Tell me why.
Oh my God, I love that song. Shout out London on the track. Pulled up on London and man, just bodied it. I had that verse written already in my laptop. It's crazy. I wrote in it without a beat. It was the only song I ever did that to. I was in my house bored as hell, just did it. And but I pulled up on London and I want to kind of get through the session. So it's my first time working with people. So sometimes I get this little thing where I don't, my process can it's no time on my process. It might take 2 hours, it might take 3, it could take 30 minutes, it might take 6. But me, some people they like make you feel uncomfortable and try to make it seem like, like
You gotta hurry up.
you gotta hurry up. So I always had that thing where I walked in and working with someone new. So I just came and I'm like, yo, I'm about to do this verse. Cause when he played this beat, I'm rapping it in my head and I'm like, yo, this shit fits perfect. When Lola hopped on it, oh my God, you don't understand. Like, I'm obsessed with Lola. I really am. Her
She gives a
energy,
fuck too.
she does. And that's why, like I'm not worried about her at all. At all. I think she's gonna be super big. I think she's also one of them ones, for real. And even just her getting into that element, it's not about getting into the element. It's about actually if you can do it. Like, it's different if you just step into something and you learn this something and you trying to hit a knot. Like, that's in her. Like, whether if she got choreo from Tiana or not, the girl can dance.
Right.
So Tiana bringing that out of her, I just think that's so fucking amazing because, I don't know, I love her. I can't wait to do more songs with her. I can't wait to shoot the video to this. I hope I see her before I leave New York. And yeah, I can't wait to just see her journey.
Coi Leray, ladies and gentlemen, the new project, Coi. It's been a pleasure.